All right. We're live. Two people on the stream. Can you guys hear me okay? You want to put in headphones so I don't hear myself? Sorry we're late. We had technical difficulties. How's everybody doing? Who's here? MBR Tembo. Awesome. Thanks for coming. All right. How you doing, MBR Tembo? You good? You on? Good. Again, for everyone just joining, sorry that we're late. We try to be very punctual, but we had technical difficulties. MBR Tembo, where are you coming from? Where are you watching us from? Well, anyway, so right now we're in Bangkok, Thailand, and I don't know where you guys are, but West Virginia. Okay, MBR Tembo's from West Virginia. How are things going for you, man? Are you in lockdown, quarantine? So yesterday, the Thai government just said that we have a curfew. So really, it's the first time that we're really feeling like a lockdown in Thailand, which is pretty crazy. Crazy times right now. I hope everyone's safe and enjoying lockdown, trying to make the best of it. And I think it's a very special time. Maybe it feels very painful right now, but I think we'll look back on this time and understand that it was important for our growth. And one of the things I want to talk about today is basically why everybody's freaking out right now, but this could be one of the most important times. So even last night for myself, I was kind of freaking out about the curfew because I don't like to have to sit inside my apartment from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And I was just thinking about how there's a gift there. There's like a special meaning to these events that happen in our lives. And something like a lockdown might seem terrible at first. Hey, friend Dezo, where are you coming from? Where are you watching us from? These events in life are really hard at first, and then we realize that there's actually special reasons for them. I think it's really the only way you can go through life is to look at things like they have a special purpose for your purpose. So for us, it's like we're in lockdown right now, sort of. We might be in a deeper lockdown soon, but what does it give us the opportunity to do? It gives us the opportunity to basically just focus on the channel. Like there's nothing to do. Can't go out and hang out with friends. Can't. Hey, Eye of Horus. I love your little profile picture, Eye of Horus. That's sweet. It gives us the chance to just focus on the channel. We can't go out and do anything. We can't go party. We can't go to the clubs. We can't even go really anywhere other than go out to eat. So I'm curious if you guys are finding a way to look at the bigger picture and understand that it's like a lesson here and there's a reason for this. So let me know in the comments or the chat if you guys how you guys are feeling about this. Like if you're struggling, like you don't understand why we're going through this, or like you don't have a for me, I can always just fall back on the purpose. Like, what's the purpose in my life? The purpose of my life is this channel right now. So it's easy for me to just, when things are really bad, I'm like, oh, I can't go out at 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. It's like, that's fine. Just focus on the channel. Like, that's the most important thing in my life right now. Most important thing in my life right now is not to be able to go out and walk around at midnight. It's to focus on the channel. So let me know if you guys have some special purpose right now in your life. I hope so. It'd be awesome. So right now in Bangkok, we are basically just doing a bunch of content. This is the first live, by the way, so I'm a little nervous. Don't know what to expect. Never done one of these. I did a Facebook Live a long time ago. It's kind of a long story, but I used to teach in Taiwan and teach English. And I had a student who was a news anchor. So I taught adults, and she was a Taiwanese news anchor. And we did a live to her fans. And that was really kind of awkward and strange. So I lied. It's not my first live, but definitely my first YouTube live on Mindful Wave Studio. We are creating a bunch of content like previous content, but we're making it better video. We're going to start adding video stuff. We're doing deeper topics, focusing more on what you guys asked for, more of what you guys requested in the chat and the comments and stuff like that. So hopefully, you can always ask me in the comments or whatever if there's something you want to see. Dude, this is not my channel. This is our channel. Like, I'm trying to build a community here, and I'm trying to build a team of people that we just operate at a higher level, and we are solving the problems in our lives. And so if there's anything you ever want to see, just let me know. Oh, Stella. It's always funny when someone hops on the chat and not just strangers on the internet. Hi, Stella. Yeah, dude. I have Horus. So you're in Massachusetts right now? How's the weather? It's probably pretty cold. I know, like, spring never comes in Massachusetts. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes and see who gets on here, and then we're going to get into stuff. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. I'm really excited about the content that we're making. Michael is in the bathroom right now. He's watching the live stream. Michael is the kind of mastermind behind this channel. He's the one that pushed me to start the channel. So Michael doesn't like to show his face though right now. He's a little shy. So I know I made a post the other day about what Michael just gave me the middle finger. I made a post about what you guys want to talk about today. I have stuff to talk about, but if you guys want to talk about stuff, just let me know in the live chat. If you see me looking off, it's because I'm looking at the live chat and I'm looking at my notes and stuff like that. So just let me know what you want to talk about. I'm definitely, or personal questions. That's fine. This is what it's all about, to get real deep and personal. So before we really get into the topics, I want to talk about the future. So the future of the channel and what we can build together. Basically, I want to, weather's shitty, huh? Yeah, I bet. Well, if it makes you feel any better, probably doesn't, but I have Horus. It's like 95 to 100 degrees here. So it's like one extreme. Like, you're probably freezing and I'm too hot. Frandezo asked, how old am I? I am 33. Just turned 33 last week. Had a nice little birthday in quarantine, and it was kind of depressing. But again, it's like that, when you focus on the higher vision and the higher purpose for stuff, it's like my birthday meant nothing because I'm trying to build this channel and try to build the community, and I can celebrate my birthday anytime. Like I can just go back and have my own little birthday party. Maybe I'll have a birthday party when we hit 10,000 subscribers. That'd be awesome. So the future of the channel, basically I want to make a resource for people who are misunderstood and maybe they lack a little self-belief and they're just a little off. And I want to teach them how to have the best mindset. So right now in the world, there's kind of a war going on right now in the world for your mind and your attention, and everybody wants to confuse everybody, and it's a very confusing time, and people are throwing mixed messages out there, and nobody's really teaching how to be happy or how to have self-esteem or how to be able to use your mind to get what you want. And that's really my vision for the channel, is to have just a gigantic resource for everybody who wants to level up their mind, get more confident, be able to visualize their success. And because I understand how important it is for your mindset for anything you want in life, really. And any sort of, I wasn't given a default confidence. Like I always grew up an introvert, and I cannot remember. I remember being really, really confident as like a baby, like before 4 years old, 5 years old. My aunts always tell me how I was like just a crazy kid. I would take the mattress and like try to ride down the stairs with the mattress when I was like 3 years old. And I would go outside and like step on bees and shit like that. And they were like, "You were such a wild child." And then there was a period from like 6 to basically I became a man, where I just didn't have a lot of confidence and was pretty shy, very introverted. So I had to learn all this stuff, and I had to learn how to believe in myself, which is enormous. I think a lot of people are suffering from that right now. Like they don't know how to believe in themselves, and maybe they see someone like me who has a YouTube channel or other people on the internet, and there's not a lot of vulnerability, and they don't understand that someone like me started from like base level. Like, and even today, I still, like during this quarantine, I walk outside and like we don't talk to people that much. Like we don't talk to strangers that much. So I walk outside and like instantly have social anxiety because we're just not utilizing those muscles and those social skills or whatever it is, you know? So I think confidence, self-belief, visualizing success, achieving success, things like that. A lot of people just talk about hard work and work ethic and discipline and stuff like that. But I think a lot of it honestly comes from your mind, and you have to really understand that you have to believe that you can achieve it before you can try it, before you can even start, I think. So that's really the mission for the channel. So let me just read something that I wrote about my vision for the channel right now. I think we're probably have everyone here now. So I wrote that we wake people up. We help them evolve with high performance mindset training, meditations, and actionable exercises. We help people become bulletproof in their new identity with a strong community, exercises, and deeply educational and informative content. It's a channel to help wake people up, help them realize that they have control over their mind and their reality, because I really believe that. I really believe that you do control some of your reality. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. They think it's like bullshit or whatever, but I can think of many examples. One example being how I met Michael. So about 5 years ago, I was stuck at home living with my parents, and I really wanted to move to Taiwan. And it was really sort of a rock bottom moment where I was stuck at home with my parents. I was like 28 and 27, 28, and I couldn't figure out how to get out. And I had to push myself really hard. And the whole process, I was just like working really hard and also visualizing this goal. Like I would visualize, it was kind of crazy, but I would watch YouTube videos of like Taiwan and stuff, like street views, like GoPro POV street views of Taiwan, and I would like visualize myself being there. And shout out to Taiwan, Stella. And then it took me a long time, but eventually I got there, and it was crazy. And then like the second day, I moved there with no friends, no job. I moved there with like $4,000 to my name. I didn't have any other money. My parents were like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like you're crazy. I think you're gonna fail." My parents said that. They're like, "I'm worried you're gonna fail out there." And so it was pretty crazy for me to do it. And within 2 days, I had met Michael, like so randomly. And sometimes you just meet people. I think when you start to visualize your success and you visualize what you want in the world, it's easy to connect with people like who just are on your wavelength, and they just understand exactly why you're on this earth. And meeting Michael was just one of those examples where I'm pretty sure we created each other in the matrix to create this channel. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that you have control over your reality? Do you think that you can harness this thing and create good things to happen in your life? I'm curious because not a lot of people talk about it. And so the other final goal of the channel would be just to give you guys the skills and the tools to help you build the best version of yourself, and not just make this about talking about my success or something, or because there's always, I don't know if you guys know about survivorship bias. So basically when really successful people talk about how they achieve success, there's something called survivorship bias. And it's basically, we only listen to the advice of people that survived how hard the goal was. And that means that sometimes we don't get a very accurate depiction. So someone like Elon Musk might just talk about how he just worked really hard, but that's not everything. So there's a survivorship bias in that he survived going through that, but what he actually had to do to get through that was probably different. There's a lot of things off behind the scenes that he doesn't understand fully. Like he might not be aware that this had to happen and he had to meet this person, and a lot of good fortune comes. But for me, I think this channel is all about you guys watching me make the climb, and I'm showing you along the way how we're creating this. And so I think you're going to get a very accurate depiction of what it means to work on your mindset and basically build your self-belief. So I think that's exciting. I think not a lot of people create content where you are watching someone grow, and like as they're growing, they're teaching you the exact skills that they're using to believe in themselves and visualize and achieve and be happy, because that's really what it is all about at the end of the day. Just like, if you're happy with yourself, I think that's kind of a lost thing these days. People just being satisfied with themselves. So maybe you're just here on the channel because you want to just be happy, or maybe you want to be on the channel because you want to achieve some really hard goal. So I think we're going to be able to help you with that. You guys have any questions for me? I see Eye of Horus said law of attraction. Yeah, law of attraction. I think that term law of attraction kind of makes people feel weird sometimes, like the whole secret. People talk about the secret a lot. But the secret is very polarizing. Like a lot of people hate the secret. A lot of people love the secret. So we're trying to think of a better way to describe that whole law of attraction stuff. No questions? So I'm going to be in Bangkok for, actually, I don't know, because of everything going on. So I'm probably going to be here for 2 more months, and we're just going to film a lot in those 2 months, and probably do more of these lives. And basically, after 2 months, we will put out a bunch of the content that we're working on now. And what do I think of Nofap? That's my favorite question. It's really my favorite question. I have a very strong opinion about Nofap because I've seen how effective it is in my life. Like there was a long period of my life. I don't want to get into too detailed stuff, but there was a long time in my life where I didn't even know what Nofap was, and I was just continuing on with that sort of life of the FAP life. And when I learned about Nofap and I actually tried it for 90 days, I just felt like a pretty crazy change in myself. And not only a change in myself, but how people perceived me. And I thought that was pretty crazy. So I just encourage people. I try not to be like a Nofap preacher. I think everybody's got to try to learn about it on their own. So like you guys gotta, if you're curious about it and you don't know if you believe it, I always tell people, I'm like, if you don't believe it, did you try it? Because if you don't try something, it's really hard to really understand what it can do for you. So I always encourage people to just try 90 days. Like just give it a shot. Try fucking 7 days. After 7 days, if you don't like it, if you're like, this is terrible, then stop, Travis Shops, where are you coming from? Where are you watching? My day job, I am a copywriter and consultant for businesses, but hopefully in the next 6 months, I can completely focus on the channel because I want that to be my day job. Because it's like, I've had a lot of things I've done in my life that have sort of led me to the channel. And the channel, like I said, is my mission in life. It's my purpose. So right now I make my living by doing services and consulting for other businesses. And yeah. So we had a question. So I want to get into the topics that people asked about before. And I don't know if they're on the call, but they're going to watch the replay of this. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I'm going to get right into some of the questions or things people wanted to talk about. Hello, love from Wuhan. Mo Lester. You okay, man? How's everything in Wuhan? You good? Let me know. So someone asked me in the post the other day, what are some actions we can be taking each day to help connect with our alpha energy? So maybe you don't like the word alpha. I don't know. Let's just call it masculine energy. So if there's ladies watching this might be important for you too, because you might be dating a man or something that you feel something's off. So obviously men right now, they understand if they can feel if they're not on their masculine purpose. They're sort of not, everybody knows everybody can feel if they're being an alpha or not, which is another word for just being that positive masculinity. So if there are ladies watching, it's important to maybe pay attention to this, because you can tell if you feel something off in your relationship, it might be because your significant other is not living in his masculine edge. So a long time ago, I read a book called Way of the Superior Man. It's super, super popular. If you haven't read it, there's really one book I try to always encourage my friends, my male friends, to read, and it's Way of the Superior Man. It's one of the best books I've read. And in the book, he talks about, they're really short chapters. They're like 3 to 5 page chapters, and each chapter is about a topic. And one of the things he talks about with masculinity is how does masculinity grow? And in this little chapter, he talks about masculinity growing in 2 ways: austerity and challenge. So austerity means, let me just read some of it for you, because I think he really just nails it. And this is a little excerpt from the book that from time to time, I'll just go back and reread. Like, I'll reread this chapter probably once every 3 months or something, because it just always reminds me how important it is to focus on this austerity and this challenge. Because in my life, there have been times where I wasn't on my alpha purpose. I wasn't being masculine. I remember a long, long, long time ago, one of my first girlfriends, I just lived with her, and I never spent time with other men. And when I went back, and I was unhappy. And when I went back and I read when I read the book, I read this chapter, and I was like, wow. And it kind of blew my mind about why I was unhappy. So let me just read some of that for you. So the 2 ways to bring you right to your masculine edge of power are austerity and challenge. Austerity means to eliminate the comforts and cushions in your life that you have learned to snuggle into and lose wakefulness. Take away anything that dulls your edge. No newspapers or magazines, no TV, no candy, cookies or sweets, no sex, no cuddling, no reading of anything at all while you eat or sit on the toilet. Reduce working time to a necessary minimum. No movies, no conversation that isn't about truth, love, or the divine. So I think that austerity is like sort of a stoic way of minimalism. And what's up, Black Mamba, Vanessa Lopez? Basically, austerity is like going without. And I think for men right now, that's really important, to be able to learn how to go without. I think that really is the key to having that masculine edge, like he talks about. So right now, what's happening in the world? A lot of people's comforts and stuff right now are being stripped away. Like there's less distractions. And what are most people doing in quarantine right now? They are watching Netflix, they're watching porn, they're eating junk food, all that stuff. And they're just filling their mind with escapism and stuff like that. So to the person who asked about masculinity and stuff like that, and growing that alpha being, the alpha energy, I think one of the ways you can really do that is just stripping away like he talks about. So I know in my life, a lot of times I will just exactly what he talked about in that quote. It's like no reading or of anything at all while you eat or sit on the toilet. And it's like, how many times I just have dinner, and the whole time I'm eating dinner, I'm just like checking my phone, listening to music, watching a show. And so I really believe that masculinity is grown during times of minimalism, and you just you can connect with that alpha energy when you don't have a lot. So when you have a bunch of stuff going on in your life and you have all these distractions, you're getting disconnected from your alpha energy and your masculinity. And so if someone wants to, an actionable piece of advice for someone who wants to build that alpha energy would be try to figure out where you're being distracted and eliminate that. And once you eliminate that, you can focus on connecting with your masculinity. I think a lot of times it's a lot easier than we think. It's once we strip away everything, we can start to listen to that masculine energy, and it just becomes really obvious. So a lot of people want to complicate it and do all this stuff, and of course I think meditations and affirmations and spending time with other people, and there's another aspect too, which I'll get into, but a lot of it is just stripping away. And I mean, times in my life where I felt most masculine, like most connected to my manliness and alpha energy and just like my self-reliance, like get shit done, confidence, is spending time in nature and being alone. I'll tell you a story about the last time I felt like really alive, like truly, like I had gone back hundreds of years and I was like I felt like an explorer, like a caveman. I went out, I borrowed my friend's kayak, and a few months ago, I lived in Ocean City, Maryland. And so there's an island here where everybody lives, and then there's a big bay, and then there's the mainland here. So I borrowed my friend's kayak, and I spent like 2 hours, a super windy day, just spent 2 hours kayaking around. And the problem was it was a 2-seater kayak. So I'm sitting on the back of the kayak and there's no one in the front seat. So spending all day, 2 hours kayaking around, I'm going up towards the wind, and just kind of like, I hadn't kayaked in years, so I forgot how hard it was. And just out there all day alone. And I tried to go back and paddle back in. And when I tried to go back, I realized that the wind had shifted, and I just spent 2 or 3 hours paddling all day. And it was incredibly hard to get back. And obviously it wasn't really life or death or anything like that. Like the worst case scenario was that I was just going to get blown to the other side, and it was going to be extremely embarrassing. And I was going to have to walk. I was going to have to leave the kayak here and walk like 3 miles to go back home, and probably catch a cab and have someone drive me later to get the kayak. But I really had to, I was just out there and just sitting out there and realizing that like there's no amount of distraction and shit like that that can build that masculinity in you. It's really that alone time and just being with nature and stuff like that, and just basically being alone with you and your mind and your heart and all the energy within you. And the other part that made me feel like it was really kind of a masculine growth time was the second part of this quote from the book. And let me read it. So that second part of masculine growth really comes from challenge. And so the challenge I had to go through to get back to the other side of the bay was pretty deep. Like I had to really dig deep. I haven't really had to dig that deep into myself in a long time. And when I finished, I was like, that's fucking cool. Like I accomplished something. I had to challenge myself and get through that. It might seem little, but I think the key to masculine growth and building that alpha energy is just like small challenge, accomplish the challenge, have the confidence. Small challenge, accomplish the challenge, a little bit more confidence. So he talks about the other means besides austerity, the minimalism, for rediscovering your masculine core is through challenge. The more superficial forms of challenge include activities like mountain climbing, ropes courses, competitive sports, and boot camp. These forms of physical challenge instantly enliven the masculine sense of purpose and direction in men and women. So, superficial challenge, trying to get back to the other side of the bay in a kayak. Deeper forms of challenge involve directly giving your gift in ways that have been blocked by your fear. So that's a really deep one, I think. That how long did it take to grow my beard? I've been growing this since August, but I've had to trim it, and I think if I kept it growing, it'd be like here since August. But I've had to make it smaller and trimmer. So giving your gift as part of masculinity, I think, is really important. And if you don't have a gift, then you don't have a purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, there's no amount of meditation and stuff like that that's going to make you be on your masculine purpose. So I think that's a really important topic. And I'm always curious. Now I enter a new phase of my life where I want to know how everyone's doing with their gift. So let me know in the live chat, like, have you guys discovered your masculine gift? Because if you haven't discovered your masculine gift, or your gift, sorry, in life or your purpose, then how can you have masculine energy? How can you have that alpha energy? I think alpha energy really comes from having a purpose. It's like that arrow. It's like, what's the masculine sign? It's the circle with the arrow. And that arrow is the purpose. So let me know. I want to know, do you guys know your gift? What's your purpose? Like, what's your purpose in life? What do you want to give to the world? So more on that topic, the most potent forms of masculine realignment involve both austerity and challenge. Go to the middle of the woods by yourself with only survival necessities, nothing to read, nothing to do. Fast from food and don't sleep for as long as possible. Challenge your attention with some practice, like chanting or ritual movement, so that your attention doesn't drift. Open yourself and wait. Do not cover your suffering. So there's one quote in here that I just love. Let me find it. About suffering. Unadorned suffering is the bedmate of masculine growth. Only by staying intimate with your personal suffering